Good morning, beloved soul. As the world awakens and the golden light of dawn stretches across the sky, allow yourself this sacred pause. This is your moment, your space of stillness before the rush of the world tries to claim your attention. Let each breath draw in peace and each exhale release the weight of yesterday. Today, we begin with the timeless power of Psalm 91, not merely to read it, but to live it, to let it breathe through us. These are not distant, ancient words carved in dusty scrolls. They are alive, pulsing with the same spirit that hovered over the waters at the dawn of creation. The same spirit that stirred hope in the hearts of prophets now calls you to rest under the wings of the Almighty. Feel it, know it. In this new day, before your feet even touch the ground, the Lord of Hosts is already surrounding you with promises. Promises that reach into the corners of fear and fill them with radiant light. Promises that stand tall against anxiety, disappointment, uncertainty, and doubt. As the world rushes forward, we slow down to breathe in God, to anchor ourselves in His Word. This is not the beginning of a routine. This is the beginning of trust. Before the coffee brews, before the texts buzz in, before the tasks line up to claim your time, God invites you into a holy space, a secret place. A place beyond sound, beyond demand. It's here, in this hidden room of the heart, that Psalm 91 becomes not only comfort, but power. You are being called to abide, to dwell, not to visit briefly, but to remain, to live, to anchor yourself. In the presence of the Most High, the world will call this unproductive. It will tempt you with the illusion of urgency. But the Spirit calls it vital. Because when your day is built upon the foundation of divine presence, no storm can shake it. No bad news can unsettle it. No criticism can define it. You, beloved, are not just surviving, you are being sustained by a God who has seen this day before you ever arrived in it. He has ordered your steps, guarded your heart, and carved your path. In this stillness, His voice becomes clear. In this calm, your identity is not in what you do, but in who you are, a child of God. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. These words are not poetic by accident. They are deliberate, precise, chosen by the Holy Spirit to stir a picture in your soul. To dwell is to make a home. And you are being asked to move in, to set up camp in the presence of the God who made galaxies and grasshoppers, oceans and eyelashes. The secret place is not hidden from you. It is hidden for you. It is a refuge built in eternity's heart. A fortress you carry with you into offices, into schools, into hospital rooms and lonely kitchens. When you abide, not visit occasionally, but truly abide, you come under the shadow of the Almighty. And in that shadow, you find coolness. In the heat of trial, protection in the blaze of anxiety, covering when the enemy tries to come near. This is not figurative comfort. It is spiritual armor. This is not just encouragement, it is empowerment. Because the one whose shadow you live under is also the one who never sleeps, never fails, and never leaves. You are safe here. And nothing can reach you unless it first passes through His sovereign hands. As the sun rises and light floods your window, let a deeper light rise within you, the awareness of divine companionship. You are not stepping into this day alone. Every meeting, every encounter, every challenge, they are already known to God. And more than that, they are already wrapped in grace. God does not promise that the day will be easy, but He promises His presence will be constant. He walks beside you, and sometimes when the weight is too heavy, He carries you. The Almighty is not distant. He is as near as your breath. The one who holds the cosmos in place also holds your heart steady when it trembles. There is nothing too small to bring to Him, nothing too broken to be healed. No situation too complicated for His wisdom. No heartache too deep for His comfort. You are seen, known, and loved. Let this truth be the rhythm beneath your actions today. Let it be the calm beneath your voice. Let it be the posture of your soul, not frantic, not fearful, but firmly rooted in the nearness of God. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him I will trust. There is power in your confession. There is life in your declaration. What you speak sets the tone for your day. And today, you speak protection. You speak faith. You speak surrender. Do not underestimate the authority of your voice when it aligns with truth. The enemy fears a believer who speaks God's word with conviction. So say it boldly, God is my refuge. He is where I run when the storm hits. He is where I hide when the arrows fly. He is my fortress, not built with bricks or guarded by walls, but protected by presence. A presence that never weakens. A presence that never abandons. This is your anthem. This is your stand. Say it before you check your emails. Say it before you step into that meeting. Say it before you respond to that text that hurts. In Him I will trust, not in outcomes, not in people, not in my own strength. In Him, only Him, that fortress, refuge, shield. These words are not relics of ancient poetry. They are the vocabulary of spiritual warriors. They are the words of someone who has walked through fire and discovered that not even flames can destroy what is hidden in God. Your soul has a hiding place, and it's not escape. It's empowerment. The fortress of God is not a retreat from life, but a place from which you face it with courage. In the fortress, you hear heaven's strategy. In the refuge, you regain your breath. In His shield, you become untouchable too. The plans of darkness. This is not delusion. It is divine perspective. You are not fragile. You are fortified. Not because you are unbreakable, but because you are covered. Covered by grace. Strengthened by truth. Surrounded by angels. You are not a victim of this world. You are a vessel of God's glory walking through it. And every place your foot touches, heaven goes with you. When you wake up with burdens heavy on your chest, remember, He promises to deliver you from the snare of the fowler. The enemy sets traps, but God sees them before you do. He charts a path around them. What was meant to break you becomes a testimony of how He held you. Sometimes deliverance isn't about being removed from danger. It's about being preserved in the midst of it. Psalm 91 is your declaration that you are not walking blind. You're being guided. God delivers not only from physical harm, but from fear, from shame, from the toxic lies that try to take root in your mind. You will not be ensnared. The traps will spring, but you will not be caught. You will walk through today with holy discernment. With steps lit by divine foresight, angels go before you. Grace walks beside you. Mercy follows behind. The fowler may plot, but your God is already victorious. Asterisk when fear whispers its lies. When the noise of the world becomes overwhelming, return to this truth. Surely He shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. The traps may be invisible, but God's eyes see them clearly. You may not even know what danger is forming in the shadows, but He does. And His hand is already reaching, already rescuing, already redeeming. What you don't know to pray for, He is already handling in grace. This is the kind of deliverance that doesn't just pull you out, it leads you forward. You are not at the mercy of this world's chaos. You are guided by the one who parts seas, calms storms, and heals hearts. And while the enemy tries to build fear with what ifs, your soul declares, even if it gets hard, even if the path is unclear, even if I feel weak, I know who walks with me. And He delivers me. Asterisk, He shall cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you shall take refuge. Imagine that, the softness of feathers, the shelter of wings. The language isn't cold or distant. It's intimate, maternal, gentle. God isn't just a warrior. He is also a tender father. a nurturing protector. His wings are not weak, they are wide. Wide enough to cover your regrets, wide enough to hold your uncertainty, wide enough to carry your entire story. You don't have to figure everything out today. You don't have to be strong every moment. Sometimes faith looks like resting in His embrace, like breathing deeply beneath His covering. There is safety here. There is a hush that stills the tormenting thoughts. There is a peace that confuses your anxiety and puts it to sleep. Yes, there is healing under His wings, not only from wounds others gave you, but from the ones you gave yourself. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. There's a kind of protection that goes beyond the physical. It's truth. Not just truth you know intellectually, but truth you live from, truth that surrounds you, truth that pushes back. Lies every time they creep in. The world will tell you you're alone, unloved, unworthy, but the truth says you are chosen, pursued, and deeply cherished. Let that truth guard your mind. Let it shield your heart from bitterness and disappointment. This isn't just belief, it's battle. You fight not with fists, but with faith. You win not by force, but by standing firm in what God has already spoken. And what He speaks never fails. His truth is not seasonal. It is not swayed by emotion. It is eternal. So when the doubts come, and they will, raise the shield of truth. Say aloud what He says about you. And watch the enemy flee. You will not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day. Fear may knock, but it does not have to enter. Anxiety may rise, but it does not get to rule. Because when God is your dwelling place, fear has no permission to stay. Whether in the darkness of night when your thoughts run wild, or in the daylight when stress comes dressed as responsibility, He is still your guard. Fear thrives on isolation, but you are never alone. The One who watches over Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. He sees you at 2 a.m. when tears stain the pillow. He sees you at noon when your hands tremble with pressure. And in both, He is speaking, "Peace, be still." There's no need to pretend you're unshaken, but there's every reason to stand knowing. You are protected. You are not defenseless. You are not a target. You are a temple guarded by glory. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. These words aren't fantasy, they are spiritual reality. Not because you are exempt from pain, but because you are held in purpose. Others may be swept up in chaos, but you stand in covenant. The headlines may shake the world, but they do not shake heaven. And because you are anchored in Him, they do not shake you. This is not arrogance. It is assurance, the assurance of belonging to the Most High. He is not merely saving you from danger, He is setting you apart for destiny. And in this setting apart, there is covering, there is clarity, there is confidence that even if others are overwhelmed, you can still walk with peace. The news may speak of collapse, but your soul speaks of Christ, unshaken, undefeated, unstoppable. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked. God does not ask you to carry vengeance. He asks you to trust justice. There is a holy exchange that happens when you release your need to retaliate and choose to rest in His sovereignty. You are not responsible for fixing everything or everyone. You are responsible for staying close to the One who sees it all. He knows what was said behind closed doors. He knows the schemes plotted in the dark. And still, He asks you to rise. Above, not in pride, but in peace. You will see the unfolding of His wisdom. You will witness the unveiling of His justice. But you do not need to lift a finger in revenge. Your role is to remain faithful. Keep walking in truth. Keep speaking in love. Keep choosing integrity. And when the time is right, He will lift you up, not to gloat, but to glorify Him. Because you have made the Lord your dwelling place, the Most High, who is your refuge, no evil shall befall you. This promise is not naive optimism. It is covenant truth. To make the Lord your dwelling place is to choose Him over fear, over distraction, over control. It means God isn't just a Sunday appointment. He is your home. And when God is your home, protection becomes your atmosphere. Evil may approach, but it cannot reside. It may knock, but it cannot stay. Because your heart has been claimed. Your life has been sealed, and your future is under divine surveillance. Do not be fooled. The world may look dark, but you carry light. You may pass through fire, but you won't be burned. You may walk through valleys, but they won't consume you. Why? Because the presence of the Most High is not around you, it's within you. And when you carry that kind of presence, evil cannot prevail. He shall give His angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. Pause and receive that. You are being watched over, not by chance, but by choice. God commands His angels concerning you. Yes, you, with your insecurities, your struggles, your dreams. There's heavenly deployment happening on your behalf. Angels walking with you into meetings. Angels guarding your home while you sleep. Angels surrounding your children, your plans, your health, your heart. You may not see them, but their presence is real. This is not fantasy. This is kingdom reality. And while you carry out your purpose on earth, heaven carries out its protection over you. You are never walking alone. Behind the scenes, above the noise, there are divine warriors keeping you in all your ways, not just the spiritual ones, but the practical, the emotional, the daily steps you take. Covered, kept, cared for. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. The grace of God goes ahead of your mistakes. There are things you could have tripped over, things that could have shattered your momentum, your hope, your peace, but they didn't. Not because you were flawless, but because you were held. There's a kind of mercy that intercepts destruction before it finds you. There's a divine hand lifting you when you don't even know you're falling. This is why gratitude must lead your day, not because life is perfect, but because God is present. You are being lifted higher than your weaknesses. You are being carried over traps that were set to destroy you. You may stumble, but you will not fall. You may feel weak, but you are not abandoned. This is divine insurance, grace absorbing what should have crushed you, love lifting what should have broken you. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent you shall trample underfoot. These are not just wild beasts. They are symbols of fear, deception, and threat. And you are not just surviving them, you are stepping on them. This is a picture of spiritual dominion, of victory, of authority reclaimed. The things that used to paralyze you, shame, anxiety, rejection, doubt, they no longer have the power to define you. You walk over them now. Not by your strength, but by the strength of the one who lives in you. Fear may roar, but it cannot bite. The serpent may hiss, but it cannot strike. Because under your feet, God has placed the very things that once chased you. You are not the hunted. You are more than a conqueror. And today, you walk not in fear, but in full confidence that the enemy is beneath your feet, and the Spirit is within your soul. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. This is God speaking now, responding to love with deliverance. When your affection is turned toward Him, when your worship becomes your way of life, He moves. Not because your love earns His favor, but because your love aligns you with His heart. And when your heart is one with God's, deliverance is inevitable. Deliverance from fear, from addiction, from bitterness, from every lie that told you you were unworthy. Of freedom. The chains you couldn't break in your own strength now fall in the presence of divine love. This is not emotionalism, it is sacred exchange. Your devotion draws near the deliverer. And when He comes close, nothing oppressive can stay. His deliverance is not delayed. It is unfolding even now, in quiet ways, in sudden ways, in powerful ways. Asterisk, I will set him on high, because he has known my name. When you truly know God, not just about him, but know him, everything changes. To know his name is to know his nature. Jehovah Jireh, your provider. Jehovah Rapha, your healer. El Shaddai, your all-sufficient one. Yahweh, I am. He is not just a distant idea. He is the essence of your survival and the source of your significance. And those who know his name walk differently. Not with arrogance, but with assurance. Not with fear, but with faith. When others are falling, he sets you on high, not for status, but for stability. Not for elevation, but for protection. Knowing his name gives you footing on uncertain ground. When you speak his name, you are not invoking a memory. You are activating a miracle. Asterisk, he shall call upon me, and I will answer him. This is God's guarantee. Not that life will be free from trouble, but that you will never face it alone. When you call, he answers. Maybe not always in the way you expect, but always in the way you need. Sometimes with a whisper, sometimes with a storm-stopping voice, sometimes through scripture, sometimes through silence that carries peace. The point is, he hears you. Your prayers do not hit a ceiling and bounce back. They rise like incense before a throne of mercy. And the God who created the galaxies bends low to listen. You are not ignored. You are not forgotten. You are not lost in a sea of billions. You are seen, you are heard, and heaven moves when you pray. So don't hold back. Speak, cry out, whisper, groan, sing. He will answer. Asterisk, I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. This is one of the most intimate promises. God with you in trouble. Not just waiting on the other side of it. Not just observing from above. He gets in the fire with you. In the storm. In the grief. In the diagnosis. In the heartbreak. He doesn't remove his love when life gets messy. He draws closer. Deliverance does not mean you'll never feel pain. It means the pain will never have the final word. And not only does he deliver, he honors. God doesn't just lift you out, he lifts you up. There is restoration after ruin. There is glory after grief. The same hands that pulled you from despair now place you in a seat of honor. Not because of your performance, but because of his promise. You were never meant to drown. You were always destined to rise. Asterisk, with long life I will satisfy him. God is not offering mere existence. He is offering life. And not just in terms of years, but in depth, in richness, in meaning. This long life is not about counting days, but making your days count. It's about walking in peace when the world screams chaos. It's about waking up with purpose, even in the midst of uncertainty. When you live in the secret place, your life is not measured by fear or fame, but by fruit. You begin to bear the fruits of trust, of joy, of resilience, of love. God doesn't just want you to get through life. He wants you to live it fully, richly, deeply, aware of his presence at every turn. That is the satisfaction he offers. Not the temporary highs of success, but the soul-deep assurance that no moment is wasted, and every breath is part of something eternal. Asterisk, and show him my salvation. This is the final promise, but not the end. It's the beginning of forever. Salvation is not merely a one-time prayer or a distant destination. It is a continual unveiling of God's presence and power in your life. To see his salvation is to recognize his hand in your healing, his grace in your growth, his mercy in your mess. Salvation is the daily rescue of a weary soul into a sacred space of belonging. It's not only about being saved from something, it's about being saved for something. You are not just spared, you are chosen. You are not just forgiven, you are invited into divine intimacy. When God shows you his salvation, he is revealing the fullness of his heart. a heart that chose you before time began, that carried you through the valley, and that now welcomes you into his everlasting arms. Asterisk. So this morning, as your day begins, carry these truths like armor on your soul. You are not exposed. You are not forgotten. You are not unguarded. The God of Psalm 91 walks beside you. He goes before you. He watches behind you. He lives within you. No weapon formed against you can prosper, not because the weapons won't come, but because they cannot conquer what is covered by covenant. Let your morning be rooted in this reality. You are held, hidden, and holy in the eyes of your Savior. Before the notifications and deadlines and distractions come rushing in, let this moment be your reminder. You are living under the shadow of the Almighty, and that is the safest place in the universe. Asterisk. Let your steps today be slower, not because of weariness, but because of awareness. You are not rushing toward a finish line. You are walking with your Father. Every encounter is a chance to reflect His light. Every frustration is a classroom of grace. Every breath is a gift. You are not navigating this day on your own. The same God who split seas, who closed lions' mouths, who raised the dead, is now guiding your morning. He is not waiting for you to perform. He is waiting for you to trust. And when you trust, you don't have to force. You don't have to fix. You just follow, with faith as your compass and love as your language. And as this prayer closes, the day begins, but not as it used to, because you are not who you were. You are covered now, strengthened, anchored, empowered. You walk not with fear but with fire, not with confusion but with clarity. You carry within you the promise of Psalm 91, not as a charm, but as a charge. Go forth into this day, knowing that the Almighty walks with you. His angels are assigned to you. His promises are alive in you. You are His, and no force of darkness, no shadow of doubt, no voice of accusation can undo what God has spoken over you. So rise, smile, breathe, trust, and step boldly into the miracle that is today.